In the late 60s and 70s, the Highway 64 Drive-In Theater west of Marinette was a home away from home for me and a group of friends from the nearby neighborhood. The owner was kind enough to let us walk in for free and watch movies under the stars until we were old enough to drive in. Outdoor theaters, as we called them, have all but disappeared from the American landscape. But Michael Schlesinger takes us to one west of Jefferson with a blend of new technology and nostalgia that continues to draw in moviegoers from throughout southeastern Wisconsin.
I wanted people to think that they were stepping into a time warp and going right back to the 1950s. So everything I've done to restore this is made this a classic 1950s drive-in theater, right up to the old intermission clips with the dancing hot dogs on the screen.
Highway 18 outdoor theater owner Lee Burgess knows every moviegoer who frequents his drive-in will be pleased how everything plays out on the screen and surrounding setting.
And people like to come out here as they can sit outside, watch a movie, but there's a lot of cars and people sitting around them, so I think there's kind of a feeling of community while people are being entertained and watching the movie. The indoor movies are going to very high-tech, comfort type of an environment. Drive-ins, you got to rough it a little bit more. You're outside, you know, you got some bugs and whatnot. So it's a different experience, but the people who come to drive-ins really like drive-ins. They enjoy it here.
Burgess has owned this cinema at the intersection of Highways 18 and 89 near Jefferson for close to 20 years. It first opened its doors back in 1953. What's the best seat in the house here?
You can see we have such a large screen that you can see it anywhere on the lot, but I like up front and right in the middle because it's almost like a Cinerama type of feeling when you're up front with a big screen.
Explain, 90 feet?
Yeah, it's a 90-foot screen, and it's about, if you're in the first row, you're about 200 feet away from the screen.
Surround sound?
Yes, we got the old-fashioned speakers, so you hear the soundtrack on the lot. It's quite nice.
This owner has seen a lot of changes over the years, especially with technology. Digital projectors are now the norm.
Much better than 35 millimeter. I was pleasantly surprised when I installed the digital projectors.
But he still has an old 35 millimeter kind on display for all to see.
This is a magazine which would hold 20 minutes of film. And so every theater had 2 projectors, and every 20 minutes they would have to switch projectors. And there was a process for doing that would make it be seamless to the audience. The other interesting thing is the light source came from carbon arc rods. There'd be 2 of them, one positive, one charged negative, and the difference in voltage would create a small spark, kind of like lightning. So it'd be a very tiny, but it was a very intense light. In the back there's a parabolic mirror that would then focus the light through the lens up here and then onto the screen. This is a very interesting piece right here. This is a CinemaScope lens from 1935, which a friend of mine salvaged from an old palace theater that they were tearing down. So this is a very historic static. This is a static display now. It gets a lot of attention from people.
Highway 18 is open typically from late April through Labor Day weekend, when there's a dusk to dawn movie marathon. In general, for $9, you get to see a double feature of current releases.
Just walk right up the steps and sit right down.
The Star Spangled Banner usually kicks it all off. I'm told this is the 3rd screen. The first 2 were damaged by either a tornado or severe winds. But this one is made of metal and able to withstand EF4 tornado strength.
It'll be here for a long time.
Just like the die-hard patrons who keep coming back and making themselves comfortable.
People bring their own recliners. You'd be surprised. People will come and they'll get very elaborate setups in the bed of their trucks, and they'll bring out a lot of furniture. In fact, we've had people leave furniture here, you know, which is a pain for us to throw away, but.
It's estimated there are only about 300 outdoor theaters nationwide, and a handful right here in the Badger State. This is the only one of its kind in southeast Wisconsin. And while some might say this can even be considered a dying art, there are those who will never follow that script. They create their own ending.
Drive-ins are disappearing, part of Americana, so we're kind of a dying breed, so you know, we're independents. We're the last of the independent movie theater owners, I think, and so we're a spirited group, but we're hanging in there.